All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music and real issues today. And I don't even know if I want to do this video, but I'm going to try to do it anyway. And I'm doing it in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. So before I get started, Black Swan, Generation Mind, I've been promoting this. This is incredible. It proves that great music is being ignored by the music industry and the radio industry here in the United States. Amazing album. Some patrons were asking me, where do you get this stuff? And first place I would try is frontiersmusicshop.us, right? That would be the first place I would try. If that doesn't work, then unfortunately, Jeff Bezos over at Amazon.com, my latest shipment was from Amazon. I'm sorry. I apologize. I repent of my sins. They delivered it in one day. So this is how they get you. I mean, it's customer service. It's very speedy and very efficient. So there you go. Black Swan, Generation Mind. I'll be sharing more of these albums because apparently people like it when I do that. They don't like when I do full standalone videos about a particular album, and I still might be doing that. So, get ready for that. So yesterday was a horrific day in the United States where there was this mass shooting, and rockers are reacting. Yeah, I just love it when rockers react, and they all react in the same way. They all blame the same thing. They blame the fact that there are firearms here in the United States, and that, we need gun control, and we need all kinds of new rules where law-abiding citizens will be affected, yet criminals, thugs, and people, coming over the southern border of the United States, which, by the way, is wide open, in case anybody didn't know. So we probably need the same policy in Mexico and throughout Latin America, right? We need the same policy, because if it's wide open and the two countries are essentially one country now, right? Because that's what we've basically said here in the United States, that we're joining, our country is now joining with Latin America, South America, Mexico. That's who we're partnered with, because we have an open border, so you can just walk over and you might be apprehended, but then you're just going to be let go. And certain things are coming over that border. So the reason I mention that is because you can try, rockers react, and they're all reacting the same. We need to outlaw this, and we need to get rid of that. And, again, you've got the same characters who over the past 2+ years cheered along with the authoritarians in the medical community. They're really happy about that. People like Geezer Butler. I don't know about David Draymond, because sometimes he's somewhat coherent. Kevin Noodles Wasserman, he's just great, from The Offspring. He is the reason I buy duct tape, right? Oh, and of course, Sebastian Bach, who loves to just jump on the media bandwagon. Peter Frampton, who also has unfortunate views. I don't know about Doug Aldridge, but all of these people have weighed in, because we need to take our cues from rockers. We need to know what rock stars think. We need to follow their Twitter feeds so we can know how to think about this issue. Because law-abiding citizens, what do we know, right? People who have been trained to know how to use a weapon in case of an event like this. Why should we consult with those people? Why should we hear from them? Of course, the President of the United States made an incredibly divisive and tone-deaf speech that also really failed to recognize the event. Let's just go past the event. Like, this massive, horrific event happens, but we're going to focus on the politics of the event rather than the event. So the shooter, who was 18 years old, apparently he shot his grandmother prior to shooting up the school. His name is Salvador Rolando Ramos. Now, I'm just going to say this, and don't take this the wrong way. His name, okay, does not fit the narrative. The narrative that they want. They wanted some guy who went to DC on January the 6th a couple of years ago, right? That's what they want. They want something to ignite almost like a civil war type of situation. And, you know, the first call is always to get rid of the sharp, shiny objects, and this problem will go away. And I mentioned that unless you're prepared to do this and force other countries south of the border to do this, by the way, this isn't too far away from the southern border. So my logic here isn't all that off. You may have a different opinion about this. You may think that common sense, background checks, whatever it is, all of that is already out there. There already are tons of laws on the books to prevent somebody who is mentally unstable from acquiring a firearm. In this case, it obviously didn't work. People are saying, well, again, you take away the sharp, shiny objects. How about you have somebody on the premises who is a sharpshooter, who is somebody who can negate this problem? Where I live in Florida, the schools all look like penitentiaries. The only thing missing is barbed wire on the top of the fence. I mean, it's locked down. The high schools, the elementary schools, all of the schools are locked down during the day. It's a little bit creepy. It's a little bit scary, but this is the world we're living in. And so, you know what, right? That to me is an indication that the world in general, the stability, the mental health issues, which aren't being addressed. In fact, that doesn't ever come up in a situation like this. We knew the Buffalo shooter. We found out that guy was crazy and deranged. And, you know, they tried to brand him as, again, the J6 guy. He wasn't. In fact, he despised all of that stuff, had this long manifesto. People who read it said that he was just crazy. His ideology was crazy. So he had mental health problems. Now, I don't know what this guy is all about. 18 years old. Again, I can argue that 18-year-olds, their brains aren't fully formed yet. Okay, because I was once 18. But if you combine that with what's been happening in the world over the past 2+ years, the fear, the chaos, the instability, the political divide, which is only going to get greater after that amazing speech the president gave, right? It's only going to get worse. So you've got all this going on, and you don't look at any of that. The only thing you look at is the firearm. That's all you're going to look at. And rock stars, again, just say emotional things. And I understand. I understand why it's an emotional thing. You know, Bach shared, this is Sebastian Bach, shared a Los Angeles Times article about the latest shooting and wrote in a message, "Enough of this BS. POTUS, please help for God's sake," meaning Biden. He's going to help us. And again, the safety of our children, anyone who thinks this is normal is quite obviously sick in the head. Okay, so that changes the subject because it basically says anybody who disagrees with, and it's hashtag gun control now, by the way, that's his hashtag. So anyone who believes that, you know, hey, we've got a problem and it's probably more to do with mental health, right? Because we've always had the ability to acquire guns throughout the country's history. It's called the Second Amendment, right? So what's changed over the past 50 years? The culture. The culture has changed. The level of fear, the level of propaganda, the level of negativity, the lack of concern for each other. Now, I don't know. This dude grew up in a troubled house. I don't know the situation. But see, that speaks to the whole knee-jerk reaction to this problem rather than waiting and getting all of the information. This is just a pretext to curtail the rights, I'm just going to say it, of law-abiding citizens. And again, their argument would be, okay, well, maybe just law enforcement should have this power. Huh. So there aren't any rogue law enforcement people, right? Supposedly, that whole BLM movement is about people who are getting abused, right, by cops. And, you know, the cops take their own liberties and they make mistakes. Sometimes they do make legitimate mistakes, by the way. As much as I don't like that particular way of organizing and saying that, I mean, they make mistakes on any person, doesn't matter the color. But yeah, when it happens in that community, they say these people are being abusive. So you're going to just allow one group of people to be in charge of this and to defend the entire country? Can they instantly beam somewhere in 2 seconds? No. Because if they could, that shooting at the school probably wouldn't have been as bad. So the solution really isn't, you know, to take firearms away from law-abiding citizens. It's to make sure that there is a trained professional in public places like this who can defend that place, right? An elementary school, it's sad. I mean, you drive by a school where I live and there's a police presence there at the school and you're thinking, uh-oh, something going down at the school? No, they're there as a deterrent. They're there to show the bad guys that, hey, don't walk on this property. You'll regret it. And that's the only way you can fix this. Now, this isn't what the media is going to do. This isn't where they're going to go with this topic, no matter how many things come out about the mental health of this person. Again, you go right to the age and say 18. No, sorry. You know, if you had like a 40-something-year-old guy, whatever, then yeah, their brain is fully formed, but it doesn't mean they're, you know, mentally stable. I'm just saying at 18, I don't understand what's going on there, how there could be that much evil in someone's brain, right? The police, by the way, took this guy out. They took him out, so he got what he deserved. And I know it doesn't bring back the lives of all these kids and the teachers, but I think if we go down this road of disarming law-abiding citizens, things aren't going to get better. They're probably going to get worse because then criminals are going to know. The Buffalo shooter knew that there are lots of restrictions in the area he went to. And he even wrote it in his manifesto or in his writings. So he knew that these people would be sitting ducks and nobody would get in his way. And that's exactly what happened. So in any event, people, I don't think you should take your advice from emotional rock stars who, by the way, probably have their own private security detail. Just putting it out there. I can't afford a private security detail. And if they don't, they certainly have somebody in their entourage, right, who is probably packing, as they say. It's really hypocritical, you know, protection for me, but not for thee kind of a thing. Sorry. You know, it's the same thing where these bureaucrats said all these rules for you, but not for me. If I want to go out to the restaurant, I'm going out to the restaurant and I'm not following the protocols. I'll do what I want to do. And so that's the society they want, though. They don't want the common man to be able to protect themselves against an out of control rogue state or institution or person. They want you to basically cower in fear and become more fearful as things will become less safe instead of more safe. I mean, I don't know. You can't convince anybody though on this issue. You cannot bring them to your side. You just can't do it. It's like the other issue when I talk about the thing, right? You can't persuade them. They don't see it. You can give them statistics, you can give them documents, you can show them the evidence, and they'll say, well, why would they do this? This is for the greater good, and you need to get on board with this. And it's like, but it's making things worse. It's not making things better. But they don't see it. One of the reasons they don't see it is because the media does their job so well. And what I mean by that is they obscure information, they omit things. And a lot of people are still in the dark about so much of this information. And they don't have any intellectually curious moments. They don't sit there and go, wonder if there's a way that I can help myself in this situation, rather than waiting. Again, you're waiting for the government. You're waiting for law enforcement. You're waiting. You're going to sit there and basically be a pawn. You're always going to be waiting for somebody to help you, to bail you out, to take care of you. And, you know, there's this organization, fake organization out there. It's a letter of the alphabet. All right. And people joined it the last couple of years, and it basically became a crazy hotbed for conspiracy theories, right? And their number one vision or talking point is that trust the plan, right? Trust the plan. We're the plan. I'm the plan. You're the plan. You don't just trust an anonymous thing that I think is designed to keep you from being active and doing what you need to do to protect yourself, your family, and your health as well, right? So all of those things, it's all up to you. It's not up to anybody. Keep waiting, keep waiting. Nobody's going to show up. Eventually, you're going to be like, how come nobody's showing up? Right? And this is what we're all up against right now. And some of us just want to live our lives. We want to go and see a good concert. We want to enjoy some music. We want to spend time with our families, and we don't want to get wrapped up in all of this. But I don't know. It seems that if we don't get wrapped up in it and get involved, that at some point, somebody's going to start telling you that you have to do X, Y, and Z. And at that point, you will have given up all of your rights to these people because you wanted safety. You wanted safety over freedom. And the founding fathers warned us vigorously about this. And it's happening. It's happening in real time. All right, so that's my video. Again, if you stayed for the entire video, there is some music here. Black Swan, Generation Mind. Go check it out. This is the kind of stuff that should be played on rock stations here in the United States. I don't care if it's, just a project band. This would become a touring band if people bought a lot of copies of this. It would become a touring band. They would go out on tour. Robin McCauley, come on. I mean, he's amazing. So anyway, that's my video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.